The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. President Duterte remains firm that he will not endorse any candidate or presidential candidate. The president also admitted that they never intended to have a political dynasty in his hometown, Davao City. Gemma Vansenia with a story.
Osbo na ako ha, wala ko'y presidente nga suportahan. Bahala na mo kinsay inyong gusto. Dili ko mamando ninyo nga mo gini mo na.
Just a few days before the elections, President Rodrigo Duterte reiterated that he will not endorse any presidential candidate. Duterte said he will remain neutral but he expressed support for some senatorial candidates, although he discouraged the public from voting Senator Dick Gordon.
Ayaw mo boto ana kay tulisan ng na. Og dili ako nga presidente kalkal anang butanga di gyud na mugawas. Ana ka powerful ng mga senador o congressman. Labi na gyud ang mga senador. Na Gordon Sigel nagbalik-balik. Ang hanap buhay ana gobyerno.
With only 2 months left in office, the chief executive thanked Davaoenos for trusting him to lead the country. Duterte also clarified that they never intended to have a political dynasty here in Davao City.
Mopoy akong gisulti sa akong mga anak. Siguraduha lang na higugma gyud mo sa taong lungsod. Dili tungod kay gusto mi og political dynasty.
Despite leading the country's bloody war on drugs, Duterte also said that he never killed a person.
Prangkahan ta mong ICC o human rights, wala pa ko'y gipatay. Hapit na siguro. Maabot naman na.
For News 5, Gem Avansania, we are One News.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines called for 3 days of intense prayer ahead of the election day. CBCP President and Bishop Virgilio David called on archbishops and bishops to hold 3 days of prayer from May 8 to May 10. With this, he is urging churches to remain open during these days. Bishop David called to consciously pray for all Comelec officials as well as voters. Presidential candidates traded allegations of dirty tricks and vote rigging during the homestretch of the campaign period. On Friday, Bongbong Marcos urged supporters to protect their vote against unspecified attempts at vote rigging. The Marcos campaign also accused Vice President Leni Robredo of being toxic and decisive. Just yesterday, the camp of Robredo filed charges against a news website for claiming that the Vice President is in league with the Communist Party. The Philippine National Police warns that they will enforce the full force of the law against politicians planning to cheat on May 9. Newly appointed PNP officer in charge, Vicente Dano Jr. issued the warning as Filipinos are set to vote on Monday. Dano said that the PNP has a place for candidates who are planning to rig the upcoming polls. He also assures the public that the police will ensure the conduct of peaceful and orderly elections. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Thousands of Isabong workers have been laid off after President Duterte ordered the suspension of all online cockfighting operations. Mobile journalist Kyla Macantan with a story.
As Isabong comes to a halt, not only are cockfighting enthusiasts upset, employees of betting stations are now forced to look for a new source of income, following President Duterte's order to suspend Isabong operations in the country. Betting stations in Caloocan, Tondo, and Quezon City are now starting to close.
Kahit wala pang inisyu si PAGCOR, nagsara na sila. Nung nag-announce si President, nagsara.
Some aficionados, however, see something good from the suspension of the online gambling sport.
Ang kinaganda dyan kasi matitigil na yung bisyo na mahirap pigilan. Kasi bilang sabongero, hanggat talo ka, di ka titigil.
But for this employee of an Isabong operator, the sport itself is at the root of the problem.
Nasa tao yan, di ba? Yung mismong sigalero, may limit. Huwag nila isisisi.
According to the Interior's Department's data, around 10,000 employees were laid off because of the suspension. For some agents, they have no choice but to look for another job.
Nakita ko na din to na hindi pang long term. So, kumbaga sa akin, ngayon pa lang, mahanap na ako ng ibang diskarte.
Going jobless in the middle of the pandemic may not be the best scenario. But for employees of these Isabong stations, they have no choice but to bet on a different livelihood as soon as possible. Mobile journalist Kyla Macantan, We Are One News.
The White House names Katrine Jean-Pierre as the first Black woman and LGBT member to become the next press secretary. More details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
As Jen said at the top, this is a historic moment, and it's not lost on me. I understand how important it is for so many people out there, so many different communities that I stand on their shoulders, and I have been throughout my career. And so it is an honor and a privilege to be behind this podium in about a week or so when Jen is ready. And that is something that I will honor and do my best to represent this president and this first lady the best that I can, but also the American people. And so it is, it's a very emotional day. That's probably the best way that I can explain that. A very emotional day. And I just appreciate this time and this moment.
Top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 1:30 in the afternoon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.